So I was just pretty excited to get NativeScript 6.3 installed. I created a sample application, and then I got an error message. I upgraded my NativeScript CLI to 6.3, so now I have version 6.3. It's got a whole bunch of upgrades and updates and bug fixes. I'm gonna cover some of those here. But when I created a brand new application just as a test and ran it, TNS run iOS, for example, everything seemed to be working fine, and then I get this nasty error message. This is going to be a short video. There's a quick fix for this. I'll show you that in a second. All right, so NativeScript 6.3 is installed, and I have a brand new application, and I ran it, and I got this message. So hopefully the fix that we're about to do is going to help somebody out there that's also encountering this problem. Unfortunately, this message doesn't really give you any information on how to fix it, so you have to Google. And it's a CocoaPod related issue because I'm running this on iOS. So if the message says CocoaPods could not find compatible version of pod, whatever pod you may have there, in my case it's material components / tabs. And at the bottom it says for more information on resolving CocoaPod issues in NativeScript read. Read? It doesn't say what to read. Maybe I should read the message above it. So that's where the hint is. It doesn't tell you explicitly what to do, but the hint is there. So it says, note, as of CocoaPods 1.0, pod repo update does not happen on pod install by default. So when the NativeScript project builds, it runs pod install, but it does not do pod repo update because we're trying to speed up the process. So pod repo update is something you have to do manually, periodically, to keep your CocoaPods repository up to date. Let's do that. Pod repo update. All right, it's going to run through this whole thing and do some kind of update on our CocoaPods repository that's local. And hopefully that's going to resolve a problem. How long it's going to take, I don't know. I'll tell you that in a second when it's done. All right, so it looks like it's finished. That took probably like 30 seconds, maybe 45. Anyway, it says CocoaPods 1.9 beta 2 is available. I don't want the beta. I'm fine with what we have. Let me just try running that command again, the NativeScript run command on iOS, and see if that fixed the problem. So I'm going to go back here and say TNS run iOS. The build is done. It's installing material components pod. So that means it found it just fine and it seems to be working. So I'm hopeful that this is going to finally work. Hey, that finished fine and our app is up and running. So there you go. If you ever run into that issue, that error with the CocoaPods, then that's how you do it. You do pod repo update, and that'll update your local repository of CocoaPods. And if your NativeScript project is referencing CocoaPods that are newer than the ones in your local repo, then that pod repo update command will get the local repo up to date and be able to link the required CocoaPods correctly with your project and build all that nicely. All right, that's it for me today, nice and short. I'm also going to have some videos here on 6.3 and what was added. There's some really cool features, including modal dialog control. That's a little bit better than it used to be. So if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.